Hey, this is Nick from Income Digs. Welcome to this video tutorial. Today we are talking about Podio, and we're talking about some advanced techniques within Podio. I'm going to show you how you can use hyperlinks, and we're going to be using a calculation field for this, how we can use hyperlinks to help out with Podio's user interface and to achieve tabbed navigation between apps, okay? So this is something where if you're used to Podio, you know that you kind of have a situation sometimes where you have a database where you scroll and scroll and scroll and it kind of never ends, right? So one thing that we might think of doing, we're tempted to do, is like, okay, let's create another app for that information to hold it elsewhere. Another app for this information to hold it elsewhere. And that kind of is fine, but we can run into trouble in that we're having one-for-one relationships and it's tough to navigate back and forth. I'm going to bring it all together and I'm going to show you, again, an advanced technique, but you're going to be able to follow along right with me. I'm going to show you this tabbed navigation to move from related apps within Podio. All right, so if you're ready for that, join me right here in Podio. If you want to have your Podio open, that's great. You can copy the formulas that I'm going to be doing today. All right, so what I have here is a blank canvas, a brand new workspace within Podio. I'm going to be adding apps to this and just really messing around with it to make it what I want it to be. Now, what we're going to demonstrate is something that I call the hub and spoke model. All right, and to sample that, what I have here is an example of some apps that might be applicable. Okay, and we're thinking maybe in terms of real estate. So we're potentially buying a deal, and so we have to do all this other stuff. We have to inspect the property, estimate it, go to contract reports, close it, all that stuff, right? And so to have this all in one app, we might scroll forever. It might be too crazy, okay? So we can think about, well, the deal is kind of the hub, and then we have these offshoots, these other apps that hold that information. When we need to get it, we go over there. Okay, so this is a hub and spoke model. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to show you how we can create the deal and all these other items and then link to them with hyperlinks, okay? So let's get into Podio and just start building this thing out. Now, when I build this out, you know, these apps are going to be super simple just so I can show you the navigation. They're not going to have all the fields that you want. That's the easy part, all right? But let's just create some apps here. So let's go with deals first. So I'm going to create a deal, okay? And it's always fun to pick the pick the icons. That's my favorite part. All right, so we create the deal, and let's go ahead and let's leave title there. And one thing that I almost always do on most apps I create is I bring in a calculation field and I make this a unique ID hidden. Okay, and you're going to see exactly why I do this when we get into the navigation. But it's not a bad idea to just always do this. Do @unique_ID general properties, okay, and then hide this. It doesn't hurt to have this in almost every single app you ever use. I'm going to show you exactly why in just a little bit, okay? So let's just keep it there for now. We're not going to build any relationships yet. I'm actually going to be relating back to this deal from the other apps that I build. Okay, the next app I'm going to build is an appointment. So let's envision that we have a potential deal and we might need to go on an appointment. Okay, so you can have an appointments app. All right, and then a calendar might look good for this. Now, I want every appointment to be related to a deal, always. Okay, so I'm going to relate it to a deal right here, okay? And I'm going to make that required. Now, in this example, I'm actually going to auto-create these appointments. I'll show you that. Related deal. And I'm going to get rid of title. I don't need that here. And I'm going to bring in, again, a unique ID, hidden. You can label it however you want to, but I like to do it that way. Always hidden. And I'm not going to build these out. Again, that's the easy part. You can build out those apps with your appointment date and time, confirmations, all that stuff. All right, I'm going to add just 2 or 3 more. Yeah, let's do an inspection. Okay, so an inspection would be we're going out to the property and we're kind of checking it out. All right. And again, I'm going to say that for every single inspection, we're going to relate to a deal. Okay, get rid of this. We'll bring in unique ID. And if I'm going too fast, I apologize. This part, I want to get to the good stuff. This kind of stuff, I always found creating apps is just so tedious in Podio, but You know, if you need to go back and watch this, go for it. Always hidden. And I'm just going to do one more. I just wanted to start fresh so you can just not have all the noise in there. Let's do one more. And again, remember, this is the hub. These are going to be the spokes. All right, I'm going to do one for estimate as well. All right, maybe a calculator. And I'm sure you have your set of favorite Podio icons. Notice that I'm always related to the deal. And again, the idea is that you might want to house this information elsewhere. That's all it is. Because if you think about a normal database, like a normal, you have like tabs up. We don't have that here, so we're going to kind of mimic it. All right, unique ID, and then I'm just going to always hidden. All right, so we're kind of good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to force the system that every time I create a new deal, I'm going to create a new appointment, inspection, and estimate that's related to the deal. All right, and that's going to be a simple Globy flow. All right, so you can go into your Globy flow and just do a quick refresh. Okay, and now when I create a new deal, and again, if you're not used to Globy flow, don't worry too much about this. I'm setting this up just to help us out. We're gonna have plenty of other Globy flow videos, of course. All right, so if this is going a little too fast, just kind of ignore this part. All I'm doing here is when I create a new deal, okay, when a new deal is created, I'm gonna create new items elsewhere as well. I'm gonna create a new appointment, okay. I'm going to create, I'm going to create a new inspection. All right, I'm going to fill these out in a second. And then I'm going to create a new estimate, okay? And I'm going to make the deal the current deal I'm on. Deal equals current deal I'm on. And it looks like I did not make that deal required. So that's all I'm going to do. All right, nice and easy, right? Okay. So let's do one and just see what happens, okay? Let's create a new deal. And we'll call it 123 Main Street. Now, again, we know that we have a ton more fields here. We're gonna just keep this simple for now. So notice what happens immediately. I have a new appointment created, a new inspection created, and a new estimate created. Okay, when I go into those, the deal is related. Perfect, okay? So now I have my hub and spoke, it's established, but to navigate, I need to click here, and I need to click here, and envision that we're gonna have this whole app is gonna be full of junk, and it's gonna be tough to kind of scroll. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna add a calculation field at the top of all of these that's going to help me navigate between all of them within each other. All right, it's gonna be awesome. All right, so the first thing we need to do is establish the unique IDs for all of our spokes. Okay, and we're going to do that on the deal. So you do that on your hub. So like I have here the unique ID hidden for the current app I'm in, I'm going to bring in 3 more calculation fields for, let's do appointment unique. Okay, let's do inspection unique, and let's do estimate unique. All right, now why am I doing caps? No reason in particular. And here is where we are calling upon that unique ID that we've created in those other apps, okay? So here I'm gonna do my appointment unique ID, and you have to do, when you're doing a related field, you have to do this .join, okay? That's required. Okay, then I'm gonna do the unique ID from the inspection right here, .join, and again, this is only because we're referencing another app that you have to do the .join. And let's do the unique ID from the estimate right there, .join. And again, I can hide all these. I don't need these to be shown. I just need them here somewhere, okay? So now we build a really cool formula, all right? And this really cool formula is going to be hyperlinks between all of these. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this formula right up here, calculation field, and I'm just going to call it, I'm just going to do dashes here, all right? And again, this part's going to get a little complicated. Take your time with it and use what I've written, copy and paste, okay? The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to establish our unique IDs. Okay, so I'm going to do variable deal unique. Okay, that's going to be my deal's unique ID. And that's just my unique ID for this deal. Okay, so it can be this, it can be they're both the same, doesn't really matter. I'm going to do this one. And we can actually call this deal unique ID, and you'll see why that'll be better for the future ones. Okay. All right, then we're going to do appointment unique. Now, when you name these variables, you can name them whatever you want. Just make sure you're paying attention to that. Okay. And this is going to be appointment unique. Inspect unique. And estimate unique. All right, so I've established some variables. Now we're going to establish some hyperlinks, okay? And we're going to do var, this is for variable. We're going to do var for deal equals, and here is where we are going to bring in the hyperlink. So I'm going to write in here deal.
Just a sec.
And then I'm going to bring in a hyperlink to Podio, okay? And so what does that hyperlink look like? Well, if I were to go to an item within deals, if I were to click here, notice what's going on up here, okay? I'm going to grab everything except for that one. That one is a unique ID, okay? So here I'm doing this for my deals app, okay? And I'm going to bring that right in here, okay? And then I'm going to finish my quotation, and then I'm going to add to that, this deal unique. Okay? And then I'm going to finish my parentheses. Okay? And so I'm just going to stop there for now. So I have my deal, and what I'm saying is I want the hyperlink to say the word deal, and I want it to link here. Okay, I'm just going to save that for now, just to keep it simple. All right, now we're going to come back and do the rest. Okay, and so that's going to create a hyperlink that brings me to the deal. While this is kind of churning, what I'm going to do is get my appointment open up, my inspection open up, and my estimate, so I can copy and paste those URLs. Okay, so notice my hyperlink showed up here. This is going to bring me right where I am. So it's not going to really do anything here, but it will do something on the rest. All right, so now let's continue to build these out. All right, so what's cool about this is once you do it once, you can kind of take it and paste it. We're going to do 4 of them total, right? We're going to have links to deal. We're going to have links to appointment. We're going to have link to inspection and a link to estimate, okay? And so what's in the brackets here is how you want it to read. So I'm reading it as deal with caps. I'm going to make this APT for appointment. I'm just going to spell out inspection here. I'm going to spell out estimate there, okay? Now these are currently all going to the same place. We don't want that to happen, so let's replace these hyperlinks. The appointments is right here. Now I could just replace this word. You might realize that, but I'm going to grab that whole URL. Change that, and now instead of the deal unique, I'm going to do the APT unique. Whoops. Okay. Let's do inspection. Okay. All right, now again, I don't want deal unique, so let's do inspect. Now I would say I probably made these too long. Like if you make them shorter, you're gonna have a better shot of hitting them. Okay, and then let's grab the estimate. Okay, there's the estimate, and let's do estimate unique. Okay, so I've established my variables, But now I want them to show up down here, okay? So what I could do is I could just do deal plus apt plus inspection plus estimate. Okay, but estimate unique is not defined. All right, hopefully that will do it. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. All right. Now they're all together, so it doesn't look that great, but they are different hyperlinks. And if I click APT for appointment, it's going to bring me to the appointment. It's working, but it just doesn't look great, okay? So let's modify this one more time, and let's do a few things. Let's add a header here. So we can do quotes, and we can do, the hash means we're going to do a header. We're going to call this deal, okay? Because I'm on the deal app right now, right? We're going to do a new line, underline it. All right, one more, sorry. Okay, so we are creating that, so that is helpful. And then we're going to add to that our hyperlinks. In between the hyperlinks, I'm going to add a space and a vertical, okay? So I'm just adding the plus sign to add stuff in between these. All right, so things are kind of starting to take shape. Again, let's see what this looks like. It looks like I doubled that one up there, so I'll just edit that real quick. I doubled up the, you guys probably saw that one. We're wondering what the heck was going on. Okay. All right, so there's kind of my navigation, right? So here I'm in the deal now. Now if I move to the appointment, it's gonna move me to the appointment. So that's pretty cool, right? I hit the back button, now I can move to the inspection. Okay, cool, great, right? But what if we could build this everywhere so that I can navigate to these and then navigate back? That's exactly what we're gonna do, okay? So I'm gonna take this whole thing, I'm gonna copy it. I just did Control C. Now I'm gonna go into my, my appointments. I'm gonna add the exact same formula. And the only things I'm gonna have to update is here I'm gonna have to go get the deal unique ID. Okay, so appointments via deal, got it. Okay, the appointment unique is actually the unique ID of this item. Okay, the inspection unique is gonna come from the deal. The estimate unique is gonna come from the deal. Okay, and then I'm in the appointment, so I'm gonna write appointment here. Does that make sense? So because I'm in the appointment now, I want it to say that. So when I go to deal, I'm in the deal, and then I go here, I'm in the appointment. Okay? And now we're gonna do that for inspection as well. All right, so here we're in the inspection. Bring in the calculation field. Here I'm gonna get the unique ID from the deal. Oops. Okay, then I'm going to get the appointment unique. I'm going to get the inspection unique is just this current one, so I can just pull it there, and then I'm going to get the estimate unique. All right, and now where am I right now? I'm in the inspection. Okay, so there it is. And then let's do the estimate. One more, and we're done. All right, so let's get the unique ID. Now, why are we getting the unique ID? You probably noticed that when we're in an item, this is the unique ID here. So that's what tells the URL where to go. Whoops. So the main reason we use variables like this, by the way, too, is so that when we copy and paste, there's minimal work we need to do. I don't need to do anything down here. I just need to update our references here and then update this to be, let's see, what is this? This is estimate. Now you could create a variable down here for this as well. Okay, so now I'm created everywhere. So if I go deal, okay, now I'm in the deal. Now I'm in the appointment, the inspection. Now another thing we can do, now that we have these nav links, is I can make these not required. I can also bring in a calculation to just say, what deal are we in? I can get the title from the deal. Okay, and now let's move this down and hide it. Okay. Let's do the same thing for these as well. So I'm just going to bring a calculation field in and say, what deal are we talking about here? Okay. And then once I do that, I can hide the relationship. You only want to hide the relationship, by the way, if you're automatically linking them. If you hide it and aren't automatically linking them, you're going to run into issues. There's no way for your users to find it, right? So this is going to be title. Always hidden for the deal. And so now I have a consistent look and feel. Notice when I'm swinging back and forth, everything looks the exact same. Everything's linked, everything's tight. My deal is the hub. And so what we can do now is we can build this thing out with tons and tons of fields, right? The deal is one place. Then the appointment has tons and tons of fields. The inspection has tons and tons of fields. And we're in effect creating a tabbed navigation between one record. So the deal is the one record. We've created relationships. Because we use GlobiFlow, we've guaranteed that those relationships hold as well. All right. So everything is kind of built in and works great. So thanks for sticking with me with that. I was talking a little bit fast just to make sure we got it in here, but we have the code below. So take a shot at that, give it a try, and let me know how it's working out. All right. And you're going to be able to find a lot more of these videos. You can find everything that we have at incomedigs.com. And also let me know, put in the comments here, are you interested in our Podio crash course? We are actually developing that right now. We're building out that course and we'd love to hear from you. If you're interested, great. We'll put you on the VIP list. And also, if you have any specific topics you'd like us to cover, let me know and we'll be sure to get them in the course. All right. Until the next video, check out everything available at incomedigs.com and good luck with Podio.